And now, your Fox 44 forecast first.
What a great night. Clear skies, quiet conditions, perfect for high school football. And again, Matt will have all the scores coming up at 10 o'clock. Right now, I can tell you it is 62 degrees here in Waco, 65 in the College Station area. Your forecast first keeps it clear, and 58 degrees at midnight, 53 tomorrow morning, a little chilly but not bad, 61 at 9 under mostly sunny skies. A very mild weekend shaping up. We're talking temperatures well above normal. I've got details coming up in just a few minutes. Fox 44 News starts right now.
The president needs to do is, frankly, put his big boy pants on. He needs to acknowledge the fact that he lost.
Coming up on Fox 44 News at 9, still no winner yet, but as Joe Biden expands his lead, President Trump says the race is far from over. And local experts weigh in on when they think a winner might be declared. Waco ISD closing multiple schools this week due to COVID-19. We speak with staff members about their future plans.
Live from Waco, Temple, and Killeen, your news now. This is Fox 44 News at 9.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Fox 44 News at 9. I'm Adam Hooper. Right now, President Trump has 214 electoral votes, while his Democratic challenger Joe Biden has 264. The Associated Press says Biden has the lead in Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, while Trump holds on to his lead in North Carolina and Alaska. It's been 3 days since Americans cast their votes in the 2020 election. Fox News' Caroline Shively is in Wilmington, Delaware, with the latest on the 2020 election.
Joe Biden had been planning to address the nation this Friday, but so far, no address from the Democratic ticket. In the battleground state of Pennsylvania, vote counting continued Friday. The Keystone State and several other swing states acknowledging it's been 3 days since polls closed, but urging patience with the process. In a news conference in Philadelphia, city officials announced they expect Biden will ultimately win the hard-fought state, though it's still not official.
What the president needs to do is, frankly, put his big boy pants on. He needs to acknowledge the fact that he lost.
Georgia's Secretary of State also addressed the ongoing ballot counting in his state, though announced there will be a recount given the slim margin.
The voters of Georgia deserve transparency.
In Wilmington, Delaware, Joe Biden remained silent, holding no public events early Friday as a final tally neared completion. But on Capitol Hill, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi voiced confidence the Democratic ticket will ultimately win.
This has been a life or death fight for the fate of our democracy, as he says, the soul of our country. We did not win every battle in the House, but we did win the war.
The clock is ticking on the entire process. Inauguration is just 75 days away. In Wilmington, Delaware, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Coming up in the next half hour, we hear the latest from President Trump's campaign. Now, in the 74 hours since polls closed, you'd think something might have changed here in Texas, and yet tonight there are still ballots to count in the presidential election in some areas of the country. Fox 44's Cameron Stewart, he talked to election experts about the historical significance of this year's election. Hey, Cameron.
Hey, Adam. Election day has now turned into election week, and people are wondering when it's all going to end. While the circumstances surrounding the count are different than normal, one expert thinks it'll all be over soon.
I would be very surprised if it stretches on as long as it did, for weeks and weeks.
While key battleground states are still counting their ballots days after the polls closed, a process this long is not unprecedented. In fact, it's not even close.
It doesn't seem like at this point that this is going to drag out as long as the 2000 election, which was very unique. You had a very tight margin in a single state.
That race between George W. Bush and Al Gore was held up by several recounts in Florida. This year, the massive influx of mail-in votes due to COVID-19 have kept multiple states from claiming a victor.
Some of these places were outrageously big, and they couldn't count them till the hour the polls closed on Tuesday. So naturally, when you've got a huge volume of those ballots, it's going to be a different election.
President Trump has condemned the mail-in process, urging election officials to stop counting ballots and even filing lawsuits against several battleground states: Michigan, Georgia, Nevada, and Pennsylvania.
It would be sort of unfathomable to imagine a case where that many fraudulent votes could, say, flip the results of one of these contested states right now.
First of all, the people that run your election are your neighbors. They're people in our communities. They go to our schools. They go to our churches. They're people we know. because the running of the election is actually a state and a municipal function.
Dr. Patrick Flavin, a political science professor at Baylor, thinks national news outlets will be declaring a winner soon. He also believes mail-in ballots will be encouraged more in the future, changing the way we look at Election Day.
The way that we usually think about Election Day as being a single day is probably going to give way to more like election week or even election couple of weeks.
And Fox 44 reached out to the McLennan County and Bell County Republican parties, but did not hear back from them. And some people fear President Trump will not concede the election no matter the results. We'll explore if he can do that later on in the show. Live in the studio, I'm Cameron Stewart, Fox 44 News.
Cameron, thanks. As McLennan County grand jury handed down a capital murder indictment against Demarion DeGrate, accused of using a dating app to target a man, and another charge of attempted murder was added against him. U.S. Marshals arrested Demarion DeGrate in Fort Worth, and he was brought back to Waco last month. He's charged with the August 17th shooting death of Jonathan Deshawn Breeding. The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety says the agency thwarted 4 mass casualty attacks over the last year and a half. Now, department leadership is using that figure and referencing demonstrations from earlier in the year as reasoning to ask lawmakers for nearly $150 million. The money would pay for improvements to interagency communications and upgrades to Capitol security. Presenting the department's budget request, the DPS director said protecting Texans and state landmarks in light of protests that turned violent will take additional investments from the state, even though lawmakers will be looking to cut costs during the legislative session.
Not only are troopers and rangers and special agents a target of physical attacks, I mean, the agency is a target of cyber attacks from hacktivists and others that seek to take down our system.
The agency wish list includes $17 million for cybersecurity and IT improvements. DPS requested $12 million for recruit schools to keep up with retirements, resignations, and terminations. Fox 44 News is sad to announce 2 more COVID-related deaths in McLennan County, bringing the death toll to 162. The county also reporting 133 new cases. There are an estimated 709 active cases. 66 people are hospitalized. Over in Bell County, they've reported 13 new cases today. 531 are active. There have been 103 deaths in the county. As COVID cases climb, more schools have announced closures, with McGregor High School being the latest addition to that list. Fox 44's Kendall Green shows us how Waco district leaders determine when to close their doors.
It's been a week full of school closures for Waco ISD. The district announced closures at G.W. Carver Middle School, Indian Spring Middle School, and Lake Air Montessori Magnet School, all after reports of positive COVID cases. The district closed Lake Air through next Wednesday and plans to open Indian Spring Middle School for in-person instruction next Friday. At Carver, the district says 20 employees and nearly 100 in-person students were out following close contact with someone who tested positive. Students there will be learning remotely through Friday, November 20th, but Thanksgiving is the following week, meaning students won't actually return to class until November 30th. District leaders say they only choose to close a school if they can't adequately provide supervision and education for their students.
At GW Carver, over 50% of our teaching faculty were either testing positive with COVID-19 or were having to quarantine. And so we just could not sustain educational operations.
The district says it put measures in place as a means for staff and student recovery and to prevent further spreading, adding they provided resources for students to assist them in their transition.
All of the plans we have are designed to work seamlessly from an instructional perspective, and it is a part of the plan. We want to be prepared should we have to go remote, and I think our campuses are very well prepared to pivot quickly to remote instruction, again, to help mitigate the spread of the disease among our school communities.
The district doesn't expect these schools to go beyond the specified timeline laid out so far. Now in Manor, about 30 minutes east of Austin, Lagos Elementary is warning parents about a rabid bat near the school. Earlier this week, 15 kindergarten students were seen in a video playing with the animal. Manor ISD says families of students who encountered the bat were alerted and referred to a physician. School leaders say the campus will be screened and inspected by trained personnel to look for any more bats. A new mural in Waco is serving as a welcoming sign of hope for families in need. The new Caritas of Waco mural is at 300 South 15th Street. The colorful artwork stands 15 feet tall, 60 feet wide, and features vibrant fruits and vegetables with the organization's tagline, Beyond Hunger to Hope. It was painted by a Waco artist. Caritas serves as the largest food pantry in Waco, currently assisting more than 10,000 people every month, many affected by the pandemic. Oscar Mayer Wiener is reminding Central Texas hot dogs are not limited to summertime and poolside fun. Throughout next week, the Wienermobile will be in town, first stopping at Shepherd's Heart Food Bank for a Thanksgiving food drive, then at Baylor University for the afternoon, ending the week on Saturday at the Farmers Market and Cameron Park Zoo.
Are you guys ready to fight for this election?
With still no declared presidential winner, protesters on both sides continue to make their voices heard. And the election, it seems to be cause of a lot of stress in what is already an anxious year for many people. We'll break it down.
This is Fox 44 News at 9 with Adam Hooper, AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe.